Timekeeping portion of Fieldman is very obvious. We all want to get paid for the hours we work. But what about the production tracking and short interval planning? Why is this necessary? Well, it's smart. Having specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based goals will improve labor production. Increasing labor by even a small percent could result in huge margin gains. As mentioned earlier, Design Electric spends about $10 million a year in labor. Just a 5% increase could amount to a $500,000 margin gain. To make improvements, you must keep score. If you're not keeping score, you're just practicing. Fieldman allows you to quickly see the labor budget versus the cost early on. Are you winning or are you losing? Okay, let's claim some quantities. Click on the Quantity Tracking tab, then click on Claim Quantities. First, click the New Production Week button. If your job started a while ago and this is the first time claiming quantities, you'll have to click this button several times until the current week ending date correctly appears. Next, select the area. Just as in Time Entry module, this helps reduce the choices and narrows down the selection to prevent bad entries and to make it easier. You'll see how the number of choices quickly went from a page full to only 5 choices. You can narrow the list down even further by selecting the division, such as O1 for Raceway, or select the cost code. Just as in the Time Entry module, you may choose to leave the area blank, which will include all areas, and narrow the list down by work code, such as this. Notice I have all my branch Raceway cost codes for all 6 areas for this project to choose from. This makes entry much easier. Now that we have our list of available entries to a manageable size, let's make some entries. First, click in a yellow box adjacent to the item that you want to enter quantities for. A data box will pop up that allows entry for each day of the production week. Next, enter in daily values for the corresponding days, and then hit enter. Quantities equal to or below the budgeted amount will remain in a blue font. Quantities above the budgeted amount will appear in a red font. This is an alert that something is wrong and should be discussed with the project manager and estimator. The sum of the quantities for the week will appear in this column. As you enter quantities, the percentage complete will increase. If you need to correct a quantity, you can enter a negative amount to reduce the total quantity installed. When the total budgeted quantity and the total job-to-date installed quantity are equal, the percentage complete will become 100%. Once you have all your quantities entered, you can see how your job production looks. Click on the X at the top right of the screen to close out the production tracking window. Next, click on the Dashboard tab. When the Dashboard tab is first loaded, it may not have the most current week shown. Select the Week Ending Date drop-down box and select the week you want to see. This feature allows you to go back and look at historical data week by week. It's very useful. It does take about 15 seconds for the data to refresh and total up. You'll notice that the total hours change week by week. This dashboard report and graph is all based upon hours. Let's take a closer look at what these hours mean. The blue column on the left represents the total hours budgeted for the project. This is straight out of our estimating program, AccuBid. The next red column shows the hours used to date. The green column indicates the hours earned. Hours earned is a calculation based upon the quantities of material installed multiplied by the budgeted labor rate. For example, if you reported installing 10 light fixtures and the estimated budget is 1 hour per fixture, you would have earned 10 hours. Now, if you are able to install those 10 fixtures in only 8 hours, you would have beaten the estimate by 2 hours or 20%. The green bar would be higher than the red bar because your earned hours is more than your used hours. This is a quick visual for you to know that across the entire project you are winning. The black column shows the projected hours at completion based upon your current production rates. If it took you 12 hours to install those 10 fixtures, then you would have gone over the budgeted hours by 2 hours or 20%. In this case, the red bar, the hours used, would be higher than the green bar, hours earned. On the left side of the screen, there is more detail. You can sort by area, division, such as raceway or wire, and by specific cost codes. If a line item is highlighted in yellow, it means that we are exceeding the budgeted hours by 10% or more. This should be a red flag to the foreman and to the project manager that something is wrong and we should quickly make changes or improvements. It could be that the crew doesn't have the material staged properly, or something is impeding their productivity. It should spur a conversation right away because a downward trend is likely to continue. The items highlighted in green are the ones where we have production gains of 10% or more, which is a wonderful thing to see. That's an opportunity to congratulate the crew. The number at the bottom of the screen shows the total hours gained or lost for the entire project. You can use the filters at the top of the page to narrow down the report by area, division, cost code, or fade gain. As you enter your time every day, and again it's important that you do this every day, you'll have great visibility into the project's labor production. This is a large step to protect our projects from margin fade. Again, this report only shows the hours. If you want to see the actual production units and rates, there's a report that shows you this in great detail. To see the Field Labor Report, click on the blue Field Labor Report button near the top left. Here's the Field Labor Report. There are 4 columns. The first column is the labor hours, much like the report back on the dashboard. The second column shows quantities. For example, cost code 0110 is for feet or conduit. Note that the unit is in feet. We have 425 feet estimated, and all 425 feet has been installed. The third column shows the production rates. We estimated that we can install 3.05 feet of conduit per hour, but our crew was able to install 4.64 feet per hour. They installed 1.59 feet per hour more than the budget. That's a great thing to see. The last column shows the projected hours at completion. For the line item we were looking at earlier, we should finish it with a total of 92 hours instead of the estimated 139 hours. That's a great win. To see the other pages, click the arrow at the bottom of the screen. This is something you'll see consistently throughout Microsoft Access. The key is to keep tabs on the production. The entries must be accurate. If you see that we're falling behind the budget, it is good practice to take some time to figure out why and to try to fix it early on. This will keep your margin high and will result in a big win. This concludes the section on claiming quantities and production tracking. The next video is on short interval planning.